Hello, welcome to Look Smarter Than You Are with Mobile App Designer. This tutorial takes a look at adding exploration pages for tablet applications. Before you begin designing, I think it's always helpful if you have an idea of what it is you're designing first. So in this case, we're going to be talking about exploration pages. And an exploration page has a filter area on the left-hand side, and then it has the tables or graphs on the right-hand side. So users can interact with the data by selecting a filter. Or they can select multiple filters. And there's a scroll bar over here that shows us the data. And if they decide, oh, I really only want the East region, simply click the X to remove the filter. When you're done working with the text filters, click the up arrow to close it. And there you can see the numeric filters, the slider bar, which you can use to further filter the data. If you prefer not to use the slider bar, but you find it easier to type in a number, you can also do that. And if I want to add a state, of course I can pick a state as well. So I'll select Vermont. And there you can see my data has been filtered. So again, exploration pages are just a great way when a user has a tablet and they want to interact with the data, we can go ahead and get them set up. So to show you how this all comes together, I'm going to navigate to the home page using the link in the global header area. I'm then going to open the mobile app designer. In this case, I'm going to the panel on the left and I'm clicking the mobile app link. I have to select my device type, and in this case, exploration pages are only available for tablets. So I'm going to choose the tablet. I'm going to choose Excel because I happen to have an Excel sheet with all the data ready. And I'm going to browse to my PC and find that particular file. All set here, I'm simply going to save this data model. And I'm saving it in this case in the shared folders in the MAD folder. But again, you could save it to my folders if it was something that was under development. Or again, if you're ready to start publishing your applications, you need to get it in the shared folder. I'm going to go ahead and click OK to save it. And Mobile App Designer opens. I have my data sources on the left, my content area in the middle, and I have my properties on the right-hand side. So the first thing that I'm going to do is add a new page, and it's going to be an exploration page. So you see here I have my filter area on the left-hand side of the exploration page, and I have the frame where I'll put in my tables, pivot tables, graphs, whatever visualization I choose for this data. And that is what I'm going to do first. I'm going to, in this case, insert a table into the frame. And then I'm going to get set by building my table. So I want a region column. I want a state column. I want the customer name. I want the revenue. And I want quantity. So I'm going to scroll over a little bit. And you can see I'm right at the edge there. So pretty much when I go to drop quantity in, I'm going to get a message that says I do not have enough space. So this particular page obviously has some limitations. It's not going to let me scroll side to side on my iPad, which is really a kind of a good thing, if you will. And you can see I've got a lot of empty space in between my columns. Now I can resize a column just by dragging my mouse until I see that blue bar, and then I'm going to go ahead. I know my regions really are never going to get that much bigger, right? I think maybe Western might be a little bit bigger, or West maybe. So I think that would be about right for regions. And now you can see I've got some room, and my revenue field can definitely stand to come over a little bit. My customer name, that kind of thing. So I'm just going to resize things a little bit here to give myself enough room to drag and drop my quantity field onto the table. All right, so that's looking a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and continue to format a little bit. So what I'd like to do is have my column headers in my table be centered over the data. So I'm going to select all my column headers, and then in the properties on the right-hand side under alignment, I'm going to select the Align to the Center button. And it doesn't look like quantity and revenue center, but remember how wide those columns are. So we may want to go ahead and resize them. And it's really tricky to get the quantity one to resize properly. And don't forget their totals. If you leave their totals turned on, you have to make sure you leave enough room for the totals. So don't make it so tight that your totals don't fit anymore. So I'm going to give quantity just a little more room. And I'm going to try that Align to Center one more time. There, that's looking a little bit better. I'm also going to resize my revenue column as well. Just a little bit. There, that's looking a little bit better. And it will just display when all this squishing and reformatting. It's always, of course, about display and how does it look in the display. So let's go ahead and select the revenue numbers as well as the total using your Control key when you wish to select the second object. And on the right-hand side in your properties under data formatting, first thing I'm going to do is just scroll down a little bit so that data formatting is more in the center. If not, when I open this drop-down list, what happens is I can't see all my formatting options. So you always want to make sure you scroll down, just give yourself a little bit of room. And I like the minus sign. If you've been watching my other videos, that's my favorite formatting option. So I'm going to select the minus sign, which again, if it's a negative number, it'll put a minus sign instead of parentheses. And so it's going to give me that $sign in front. So this is shaping up pretty good. Now I'm ready to start focusing on the filters. What will I allow users to do to filter this data? Well, I definitely want them to filter by region. So I'm going to add that to my filter area. And state might be helpful, so I'll go ahead and add that in. And revenue. I'd like them to be able to focus their attention by revenue. So really this is all coming together. I'm going to go ahead and save it and then preview it. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and start checking out some of the filters. So I open the region and I select Central. Okay, and you can see I have a scroll bar, so I can go ahead and scroll through my data and check it out. And so if I want to add another region, I simply click that region. So I can add multiple filters from the same dimension or the same selection area. And again, I have my scroll bar, so I can now see that I do have South and I do have Central data. At any point in time, if I decide that, oh, I really didn't mean the South, I want to see Central, I can simply click on the X for that filter member and remove it from the filter. Now I'm only looking at data for the Central region. I can also add, obviously, members from my state selection chart. So I'm looking at Central region. It's helpful. If I pick a state from a different region, it's going to give me an error message that says no data is found. So I'll simply, I guess Colorado is not in my Central region. I'll delete that. Okay. And I'll go ahead and find Illinois because I know Illinois is definitely, obviously, in my Central region. And now my data is filtered for Illinois as well. Now, all of this filtering is great, but you can see it kind of gets in the way, makes it a little hard for me to see. So I can click on this up arrow to close this particular filter, and now I can see my revenue filters. So there's my slider, so I can, of course, go ahead and slide it. And oops, I slid a little too much. I didn't get any data. I don't have big customers in Illinois. I have fairly small ones. But always remember that you can also simply type in the box if you'd like. Okay, so now it's going to go ahead and it's going to give me those particular customers as well. But we still have page 2 up here, so that's not looking so nice. So let's go back and edit and update our page header. And again, there are 3 ways that you can change the name on a page. You can go over here to the little page area and double click on page. You can double click up here in the page header area, or you can go ahead in the properties and change the name. So I'm going to call this the region report. And I'm going to go ahead and save that change. And I'm going to preview the report one more time. And there you have it, an exploration page for a tablet.